All right, we're gonna go over the most effective way to execute on your warm-up. When I personally program warm-ups for my clients, typically I like to start with them doing any sort of low impact, low level activity, whether it's a row, spending some time on a bike or assault bike or ski erg, some sort of low activity just to get the heart rate up a little bit, get some blood flow through the body and generate a little bit of body heat just so we can move a little bit better. Anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes is usually good for most. But then moving into warm-up, the most effective warm-up and the way I like to program for all my clients is to use that warm-up for 2 things. One, it's to warm up specific areas of the body that we're gonna be working later that day. So for example, if we're doing squats, we wanna spend some time warming up the hips, the knees, the ankles for that particular movement for squats. If I'm doing, let's say bench press or some sort of press, we wanna be warming up the thoracic or the upper back. We wanna warm up the scapula, kind of your shoulder blades as well as your shoulders themselves, getting them to kind of move and warm up so that they're stable in certain positions. The second reason I like to use, or what I do for warm-ups, is to focus on mobility. So, oftentimes when it comes to mobility, people will spend a lot of time stretching. And while stretching can be beneficial for some, it's not the answer for, I would say, most. What I like to use the warm-ups for is to warm up that specific area of the body and also to focus on mobility. So for example, if say we're working on shoulder and I have a client who for whatever reason, they just can't get their hand above their head, okay? They get their hand to about there, and then what they do is they'll compensate with their back or their spine in order to get their hand higher. That's a bad position to put them in through training, especially if we're doing any sort of overhead press. A quick kind of substitute, if that is you, doing some sort of landmine press can be beneficial and helpful to kind of build towards that overhead position. Now, what I'm gonna do in warm-up for my clients is we're gonna spend some time working to increase that range of motion so that eventually, whether it's a couple of weeks, whether it's a couple of months, for some could even be a couple of years, we eventually wanna use those warm-ups to continually try and stress that position so that they can get the hand overhead without arching their back. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with the hips, the knees, the ankles, the shoulders, the elbows, every joint in your body, we're gonna focus on that mobility. So the best way to tackle your warm-ups, get warm, spend some time, just getting some blood flow, building some body temperature a little higher, and then tackling the warm-ups, especially the movement prep I provide my clients for every workout, is to spend some time really trying to increase the range of that position. I'll give you a couple examples here. So if I'm working to get the shoulders, let's take the child's pose with reach, roll, and lift. So child's pose, if you're familiar with yoga, okay, we're sitting on our knees here, okay? Knees out, together, it doesn't really matter to me. And hands are gonna be extended. If I'm working through that shoulder flexion, I might have some clients up here. I might have some clients, depending on what they're doing, their hands just might be on a bench or a chair, okay? And from here, we're getting as low as we can. No matter what position you start at, you're gonna turn the hand, protract or push that shoulder out. Okay, and then you're going to try and lift the hand without twisting any part of the body. So wherever a client starts, what we're doing is whether it's starting up here or you're down here, we're gradually trying to work on shoulder flexion to get that hand above your head. So from here, if your hands are on a bench or on a chair, you might turn the hand, protract forward, and then lift, and you might only get there. If you're down low, again, I'm going to roll the hand, lift, and again, just working on that shoulder flexion, fighting for more range. This is doing 2 things. It's A, warming up that particular area of the body that we're gonna be working on some strength patterns later, and B, it's helping increase that range of motion. In some cases, most cases in warm-up, we're not gonna be adding weight to that. We just want you to be able to control that movement through that range and really fight to get more. So that's a quick breakdown of how to effectively tackle warm-ups. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to drop a question in our Facebook group. Free to join for clients, non-clients alike. Be happy to answer and provide any feedback. Other than that, you can check out our programs on our website, heroicathletics.com.